You're tuned into the arts section. My name is Gary Zidek.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Oh boy, Christmas music already. According to the calendar, it's only mid-November, but if you're paying attention, it's already beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The phenomenon known as the Christmas creep, when retailers begin promoting holiday merchandise earlier and earlier in the year, has been well established. But more and more households are hanging up lights and decorating trees before Thanksgiving. The trend got a significant boost last year when the pandemic was forcing more people to stay at home.
More and more people are turning their lights on earlier. No one's trying to rush Christmas, right? It's more of the essence, the spirit, and the feeling of outdoor holiday lighting and what it does to ignite and inspire the entire neighborhood.
This is Kelly Fitzsimmons, the founder and owner of Light Up Your Holidays. Her company has been decorating Chicago area houses for the holidays for over 20 years. Fitzsimmons says this holiday season might be a little different for several reasons, one being potential supply chain issues affecting how many lights and other holiday decorations are available. I recently visited Fitzsimmons at her gigantic warehouse in Wheeling to talk about her design process and how she got into the holiday lighting business.
I met a handyman who had been installing lights for over 14 years, and he inspired me with his story. And 2 weeks later, I was out passing out flyers and had 35 clients. I truly was just following my heart. So he was installing outdoor holiday lighting, and I couldn't let the idea out of my head. Like, I just knew I was supposed to do this. I followed my heart, not knowing a single thing about installing outdoor holiday lighting. So I literally started this business out of the trunk of my car. It was a T-top hatchback Nissan NX, the most impractical car to start an outdoor holiday lighting business. But that wasn't what was on my mind. I just, literally, when I say follow my heart, there was no logic. I simply was inspired and I did it. And I'm really grateful I did, but I will say it was the most difficult year of my life. I cried basically every day.
Are you a person that loves the holidays?
So I would say I'm the quintessential entrepreneur. I've had many businesses. I was a masseuse. At the time, I owned a marketing company. I've done so many different interesting businesses. And so I feel like it wasn't necessarily Christmas that drove me to do this. It was more the challenge. And honestly, there was no logic behind it. It was almost like divine inspiration. And so in a way, that's very Christmas-like, isn't it?
Sure.
I've learned that Christmas is so much about community. And that's why I love the fact that I have a business where I inspire entire neighborhoods to just be happy, right? Because when you drive down a street that's filled with holiday lighting, you can't help but smile.
If you're just joining us, this is the arts section. My name's Gary Zidek. I'm talking with Kelly Fitzsimmons, the owner of the Chicago area holiday decorating company, Light Up Your Holidays.
Happy holiday to you.
Was there a moment or a period of time when you realized this could be something special, something that you could build into a company?
So every year for the first few years, it was a lot of work and a lot of struggle. When you start from scratch, like I did, and outdoor holiday lighting was not a thing. It wasn't a popular service. People didn't even know you could hire people to decorate their homes. Like when I started, people did not know that they could hire a service to decorate their house. So I was doing a lot of educating. I was truly a pioneer in the industry. And that means I was learning every step of the way. So for me, it wasn't really clear until 10 years, like a decade later, that this really had, like I wanted to take it in a different direction, not just be an installer, but that I had vision for the displays to be beyond elegant. So they're classic, they're tasteful, they're really beautiful, and the client leans so much on me to create that for them because they're not designers or they don't know what it would look like on such a scale on their home. And so I've focused just in natural progression on creating magical, elegant beauty that highlights the architectural features of people's homes and also combines their taste, style, and budget so they're super proud to show off their home. I had no idea that it was going to be an entire industry. I was a pioneer for a decade, and it was incredibly hard because there were no rules. There was no labor. I had to eventually buy a van, pick up my labor every morning. We were out there at like 5:30, 6 a.m. I had to figure out how I was going to buy all this product. Then eventually, where was I going to store it? It was in my basement for a while. And then I rented garages. And then I finally got a warehouse. But there was no rule book and there was absolutely no mentors really, because at that time I started doing decorating very differently than my mentor, the electrician, handyman who had trained me, because I was providing wreaths and garlands and I was buying a lot of product, and it was gorgeous product. Then I needed a warehouse, and then I had to learn warehousing skills and how to buy supplies and supply chains and how to plan for the future years. So I just had a massive learning curve. I have to say, 20 years later, the results are stunning, and I'm constantly, as an entrepreneur, constantly looking to improve every aspect of the business, from the technical to the marketing to the warehousing to the design. And that's the fun part, right?
There is an art to what you do. Can you talk a little bit about the design process? You alluded to it. Someone calls you, a new customer calls you, and then you go to their house or you look at pictures.
My design process has evolved over the years. I used to live out of my car during the holiday season and jump to estimate to estimate to estimate and sketch out an estimate on paper for people, what their house could look like, and then write up an invoice, and people would hire me on the spot, and then I'd have to manage, the actual installation schedule as well. Now I have a whole logistics team, and I actually, myself and 2 other designers. And so I've created this very simple, straightforward process where they show their interest in outdoor holiday lighting and they schedule a Zoom call with me. I look their home up online and I digitally design a few renderings for them to see during our Zoom call, and then present to them their design options. And what's fantastic about Zoom is it has become, very second nature for most people. And it also has become very personal, where people they don't have as much stage fright with Zoom. And then I create and edit the designs that we created for them based on their taste and style and budget. And in the end, they can see what their home will look like in lights. And then they hire me and we decorate, hopefully before Thanksgiving, depending on when they contact me. And that is the whole goal, is to have their home decorated so they can turn it on Thanksgiving Day or the next day. Now, here's something. We're encouraging everyone to turn their lights on a week before Thanksgiving. Start the celebration early, because this is the time we need to celebrate.
I feel like isn't it getting earlier? Are more people turning on their lights earlier in November?
It really is becoming more of a tradition to have your lights up. Literally, we have clients who November 5th, they want to turn their lights on.
So what's October, November, and December like for you?
We dedicate our lives to outdoor holiday lighting all September, October, November, December, January. It is the only thing I do during this season, where a lot of businesses, it's just an add-on service. This is truly my main service. And because we have such high standards and we know how critical having lights up in time is for my clients, we work full-time, double full-time during September through, January, when we remove all the lights. And, finding balance in life and finding time to celebrate with my family, I have a 6-year-old, is important, increasingly more important, and a fun challenge, right, to balance life and a Christmas business. It's almost like tax season, right? That's what I liken it to. So those people who know anything about, those who do taxes, like they're slammed for 3 months, for an entire quarter. And only those people really understand what we go through during this season.
So we've all seen those stories about the supply chain issues. Is that something that's affecting your business?
Luckily, I planned ahead, not knowing that there was going to be a supply chain issue, but just knowing that I like to be prepared. So we have additional timers, additional lights, and more garland than we even needed last year. So when my order still hasn't come in and it's November, we're fine. Now, is it perfect? No. Are we making do because we are planners and we actually have become more savvy with inventory? We planned ahead and we are safe during this time. And we'll plan ahead even more next year, knowing that you cannot rely on supply chains probably for the next 3 to 5 years.
Some of the things that people at home traditionally use to decorate their house, those might be in short supply.
We're talking empty shelves, short supply, like you better check out what you have in your basement, in your attic now, and piece together whatever you can, or you should have bought everything yesterday. And that's why I think a lot of people are going to end up hiring outdoor holiday lighting professionals like myself, light up your holidays.
There was like this idea that we all needed some brightness in our lives last year when the pandemic was getting dark, and then I don't know this, but anecdotally I feel like more people did decorate, at least put lights out. So have you seen an uptick? Obviously the pandemic's awful, but did you see an uptick in people reaching out?
So what was quite interesting in my business last year and this year is that people are still hesitant to travel. Last year they couldn't travel, and so they decided to put their travel funds into their outdoor holiday lighting funds. And we're seeing the same thing this year. And really, again, it is about creating an experience. I think that's the neatest way to look at outdoor holiday lighting. In fact, I tell everybody to have a party outside in front of your home. Like serve hot chocolate or hot cider and have everybody dressed up warm. And if there's snow, have a snowball fight. Capture it all on film so you can have these fantastic memories. But really be outside in front of the house and create a reason for people to come by and celebrate and generate community.
That was Kelly Fitzsimmons, the owner of the Chicago area holiday decorating company Light Up Your Holidays. You can find more information at lightupyourholidays.com. You're tuned in to WDCB. This is the arts section. My name's Gary Zidek.
They call you Lady Luck.
Comedian Tom Dreesen